The anticipation of resistance is far worse than the actual resistance itself when you tear off the Band-Aid and do the thing. I've made decisions where it's cost me opportunities. I've made decisions where it's cost me memories. I've made decisions where it's cost me money, all because I built up the anticipation to the resistance so much that had I just done the thing, it would have been 100 times easier.
Welcome, everybody, to the Chris Harder Show, where we are making you unapologetic about your pursuit of success, knowing that when good people like you make good money, they can then do great things. My name is Chris Harder, and several times per week, I will bring you epic guests, solo episodes, and every single tool, trick, and skill set you need to grow your business, grow your money mindset, and to grow your wealth to levels that you have never reached before. I've ended up in a unique place in life where I've got the experience, the connections, and all of the secrets that it takes to be successful. And I'm lifting the curtain to reveal it all to you in an effort to help put you in a position of abundance so great that you can then be as generous as possible. So let's lock arms and let's get started.
And we're back.
With another episode of He Said, She Said.
And I'm literally back from a quick 24-hour jaunt to Arizona for a little mom hangout. I call them mom dates. And I'm going to tell you guys about it. It actually has everything to do with today's episode. But before we do that, gift alert time. We literally created the coolest 90-day business plan for you.
But here's who we created this for. This is for all of the entrepreneurs, especially in year like 1 to 3 and 1 to 5, because I really feel like that set of problems is so different than people in like those 5 and over years. And this is for those years where you feel like you're completely stuck. You're struggling. You feel like you never know if you're doing the right thing in your business. You feel like you hear people talk about the elusive business plan and you're like, what the F even is that? Like, I don't even have a plan from day to day. This is for you, because if you feel frustrated, if you are finding you're sabotaging yourself, if you're in massive resistance, we created this exactly for you. So you guys, this is our 90-day blueprint. It's truly like a 90-day growth plan that we've run through our businesses so many times. I can't even tell you how much this has saved me knowing my marching orders when I get up every day.
There's 2 ways you can use this. If you're just getting started and you're like, oh, I should have a business plan, use it that way. If you're stuck, like Lori said, you're year 2, 3, 4, and you're just flatlined or even going backwards, this is kind of your reset button.
Yep.
Sit down, fill out the 90-day business plan. I promise it will get you back into momentum and get you results right away. And here's the best part. There's no catch. Like our team basically reverse engineered what we always do. It was really easy to produce. We knew you guys needed it. It's free. There's no catch whatsoever. We just wanted you to have it. So if you want it, hit pause right now and go to chrisharder.me/90-day. That's 90-day. chrisharder.me/90-day. Seriously, just hit pause. You can come back and listen to the rest of this episode in a minute. Otherwise, you're going to forget about it by the end of the episode. And you owe this to yourself. So hit pause real quick and go to chrisharder.me/90-day. It's totally free. You'll get it there. Come back, give us a listen. All right. So speaking of what we're going to listen, what we're going to talk about.
We get to sit back and listen.
You and I sit and listen.
Love this.
So what do they call it?
Okay.
ASMR. They'll just listen to us breathe.
These are my nails.
Those are your nails. It's a little creepy. So I just got back, as you heard earlier in the episode, from a quick 24-hour jaunt. Jump on an airplane, go home, see mom, do a mom date, hang out, got to see my brother too, and then came back this morning. Now, to pull that off with my busy schedule, because seeing family and seeing mom is a major priority. We're spending way more time in California here than we are in Arizona now. But I didn't want that to slip. I literally told mom, I said, I'll be back at least once a month for a mom date, if not twice a month. And I've been averaging almost twice a month. Now, how do you pull something like that off with a busy schedule? Well, it's not easy. You have to get up really early in the morning, get the first flight out, and then you anticipate you're probably going to be tired that day. You got to show up with energy, be present, schedule, clear your calendar a little bit, and then take a flight out the next morning. Well, here's where it relates to today's episode. Whenever I have to take that first flight out, I am not a morning person. And the anticipation of waking up at like 4:40 so that I can still get a little bit of coffee, feed the dogs, have a little morning routine, and then leaving the house at 5:30, to me, that sounds like torture. Like, I'm just being real with you. Some of you people are spring out of bed at 5 o'clock people, like it's your natural setting. Others of us were built different. And by the way, this is not an episode about getting up early. You'll see where I'm going. The resistance, and this is what the episode is about, the resistance that I feel around booking that early plane ticket, putting this on the calendar, picturing getting up at 4:40, setting that alarm. I create so much pain for myself that I almost don't do it each time, even though it's important to me. And that's kind of a reminder for you. What do you almost not do? Or let's be honest, what do you skip doing many times for your life, for your business, for yourself? Because the pain of the anticipation of fitting it in or getting it scheduled or following through with it seems insurmountable. Well, here's the punchline that I want to deliver to you. Alarm went off at 4:40. I sprung out of bed, had my coffee, sat by the fire, enjoyed the pups for a while, got in the car, and went to the airport at 5:30. And it was easy. It was not hard getting up early. It was not difficult leaving at 5:30. I was not tired all day when I got there. I was full of energy. So why do I share this? We create so much pain for ourselves that is far greater than tearing off the Band-Aid and doing the action itself. The anticipation of resistance is far worse than the actual resistance itself when you tear off the Band-Aid and do the thing. And Lori, I know you've got some examples around this, but this has literally I'm only going to speak about myself, but I have a feeling that if you're listening, you'll fall in this category too. I've made decisions where it's cost me opportunities. I've made decisions where it's cost me memories. I've made decisions where it's cost me money, all because I built up the anticipation to the resistance so much that had I just done the thing, it would have been 100 times easier.
Mm-hmm. Chris and I always talk about this. And I'm, in my life, one of the things I'm trying to practice every single day, the second I open my eyes, is non-resistance. Because of this, because of how much pain we cause ourselves by thinking of the pain in the future. It's like future forecasting for pain. And when you do that, you're living in the present day. So you're robbing that moment of whatever greatness is there, whatever joy, whatever peace that you have is there. So I looked up some stuff according to like what our brain is doing. I wanted to know the science behind, is this normal? Is this all humans? Do we do this? And the brain is wired to predict future discomfort, obviously as a survival mechanism. And what it does, though, is it often exaggerates the difficulty of tasks and situations. And studies in neuroscience show that the anterior cingulate cortex, I might be saying that wrong, which processes pain and emotional distress, activates before we actually experience the thing we're resisting. Meaning we feel the stress in anticipation, but not in reality. Like we're actually wired to do this. So 90% of the stress we feel in the buildup, it's not the actual thing itself. It's actually the buildup. So once we start, the resistance fades because our brain shifts from fear into action mode. So the goal of this podcast, though, is to try to get you out of the pre-resistance, right? The pre-resistance before the actual action. So a couple of things that I do is I try to just get really present. I try to just say, it's probably not going to be that bad. It's actually fulfilling a couple of the things that I want to do and be in my life. So for you, it fulfilled the role of you promised your mom, you want to be a good son. You actually get a lot out of going back. Mm-hmm. So instead of focusing on the pain, it's kind of focusing on what you're going to get and knowing that you're always, always happy about it when you come back. And it's also about just not thinking in the future. Because whenever people are thinking ahead in the future, you have anxiety. Whenever you're thinking about the past, you have depression. Obviously, we're talking about negative things here, not good memories. But if you're in the past, you have depression. If you're in the future, you have anxiety. So the goal with this is when you're experiencing massive resistance, a lot of your resistance is because you either haven't fully committed to it. Like part of your resistance, Chris, was because you were like, I don't know, maybe I should cancel it. Maybe I shouldn't. Like, what should I do? So you just like spend 2 of your days suffering. It's like commit to the thing and decide you committed and that you're not going to think about it. Like you're literally just going to say, I accept this. Resistance is non-acceptance. And so if you can just accept it and say, this is the bet I made. I'm going to lay in it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to love it. This is because it's, doing all of these great things. that's where all of the pain comes from. It's so many different facets that it comes from, where then it robs you of the ideas in the moment of, being with me, being present with me. But that's really the thing that we want to get you past is this is not just a one-time thing. You guys, this is a forever practice. And so Chris and I are always, I feel like we talk about this every single day, like on the ride to the gym. I'm just like, oh, I have this thing coming up and I don't want to do it, but I'm like, I have to think of something else.
Yeah. This plagues me all the time. I happen to love going to the gym, but for some people, I know that's a great example. They dread going to the gym, but once they're there, they actually like it. For me, like when I book guys' trips, oh, I don't have time for this. I should have never booked it. I've got all this. Maybe I'll cancel leading up to it. And then when I go, I'm like, Lori, that was the best thing ever. Like, look at the conversations that I had, right? Here's another silly example. We have now twice done the Tony Robbins Firewalk. I will tell you, for everybody standing in that line, waiting to walk across those fiery coals, the anticipation of the fact that you're about to walk through fire is far worse than the walking through fire. You don't even feel it when you walk through the fire. So that's like the ultimate example of this. If anything, this is just a quick podcast to bring this awareness to you that whatever you're fearing, whatever you have resistance around, whatever you're putting off, whatever you're procrastinating because you don't think it's going to feel good, it's going to be 100 times easier than you expect it to be. So just tear up the Band-Aid and do the damn thing.
I love that. And you guys, if you love this episode, definitely go check out the 90-day business plan.
ChrisHarder.me/90day.
It's going to relieve so much of what we're talking about right now. Literally, you have so much resistance around what you're doing because you probably don't know exactly what you're doing and you're doing it without a solid plan. Because when you have a plan and you know the plan works, you're actually excited about getting the work done. So you guys, thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next week.
Thanks for listening. And if you loved this episode and know of someone else who is as successful as they are generous, please pass them on to me. It would mean the world to me if you help me get this cause and this message out to as many listeners as I can. So please, if you liked what you heard, it goes a long way if you take 30 seconds and leave me a 5-star review and share this with your friends. I'll be forever grateful. And until the next episode, cheers to your success.